Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Summer here to talk about our Unit 5 review. It says, write an equation of the line that passes through the given point and is parallel to the given line. So the question is, first is, what's the slope of that line? Well, to figure out the slope of this line, I need to do something first. Since I have 2y is equal to 8x minus 6, I need to know what y equals. So by doing that, I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I'm left with y is equal to 8x over 2 minus 6 over 2. If I simplify that, I get y is equal to 4x minus 3. So my slope, remember, is the coefficient of x. So my slope here is 4. So the slope of the line that it's parallel to is 4. So remember, parallel lines, let's do that in a different color. Parallel line slopes are equal. A good way to remember that is the parallel line sign looks like the equal sign on its side. So now that I know that the slope of the line that I'm going to make is 4, because it's the same as the slope of the line it gives it to, I'm going to use these points. I'm going to do y is equal to 4x plus b. This way, I can figure out what my b is, what my y-intercept of the line that I'm trying to write is. By doing that, I'm going to take my x and plug it in here, and my y and plug it in here. So I'm left with 3 is equal to 4 times negative 3 plus b. 3 is equal to negative 12 plus b. Oops, let's write that b a little bit better. I'm going to add 12 to both sides, and I'm left with b is equal to 15. So the equation of the line is y is equal to 4x plus 15. Now, this is going to give us the fingerprint for that line. That's why it's important to figure out your y-intercept, because this is just one point on a line. A line has infinite number of points. So as long as you have the fingerprint, you can figure out what points fit on there. Question 2 is also asking for the equation of the line that is parallel to this line. So this line is in standard form. What I need to do is get my y by itself. So I'm going to do that, I need to first subtract 4x from both sides. And then I get 2y is equal to negative 4x plus 12. Divide each side by 2. And I get y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. So the slope of my, oops, that was not the right one tool. The slope of my line is negative 2x. Because remember, parallel lines slopes are equal. Now I write my new slope. So m is equal to negative 2. I write my equation, my generic equation, y is equal to negative 2x plus b. This y here goes in that point. 8 goes in for my x, and I get 1 is equal to negative 2 times 8 plus b. We need to find that b, that y-intercept, so we can write the equation of the fingerprint. So I get 1 is equal to negative 16 plus b. Add 16. I get b is equal to 17. So the equation of my line is y equals, use that color, okay. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 17. Now this question is still writing the equation of the parallel line, but it's given a graph. So we need to write the equation of the line that is parallel to this line and goes through this point. So first we need to figure out the y-intercept. I'm sorry, we need to first figure out the equation of this blue line. So in order to do that, I'm going to find 2 points on that line that go through that like x part, because that means I know that they are like whole numbers on our graph, and so I can easily determine my slope. So from here I go up 1, 2, 3. So I went up 3 and I went over 1. So the slope of my blue line is 3 over 1. And let me write that in blue so that we know that. So the slope of the blue line is 3 over 1, which is just equal to 3. So, wrong things. Oh. And because we're trying to find the equation of the line that's parallel to it, all we need is from that graph is its slope. Because once we have the slopes of parallel lines are equal. And when I do that, I'm going to get my equation of my line, which is generic equation. Y is equal to 3x plus b. Now, I'm going to take that -2 that they're giving me on the graph and plug it in for y, my 3 in for x. And I get -2 is equal to 3 times 3 plus b. -2 is equal to 9 plus b. Subtract 9, -11 plus b. So the equation of this line would be y is equal to y is equal to 3x minus 11. Okay, these next few problems is write the equation of the line that passes through the given point and is perpendicular to the given line. So what do we know about perpendicular lines and their slopes? We know that the slope, like the m of the perpendicular line, is equal to the opposite reciprocal. Okay, so look at that. The symbol for perpendicular line looks like an upside down T. It looks like it's opposite of what a T should look like. Okay, it's flipped upside down on its head. Reciprocal is you are flipping a number upside down. Opposite means you're just changing the sign. If it was positive, it's now negative. Okay, so what is the slope of the line they gave us? The slope, so the slope m of this line is 4 over 3. So the slope of the line that's perpendicular to it has to be, we change the sign, that's positive, so it's going to be negative, and we're going to flip it upside down, and we get 3 over 4. Now we have a slope, and we have a point that they're giving it to. So now we're going to put it into our generic y is equal to -3 over 4 x plus b, and now we need to solve for our b. Plug in -1 for y, -4 for x, -1 is equal to -3 over 4 times -4 plus b. So then I get -1 is equal to -12 over 4 plus b. Let me move up a little or over to the side, which is going to be -1 is equal to -3 plus b. Add 3. I get 2 is equal to b. So the equation of the line that is perpendicular to that line is y is equal to -3 over 4 x plus 2. The next question is still writing the equation of the line that's perpendicular to this line. So the slope of this line is 1/2, which means the slope of the line that's perpendicular is the opposite. So if that was positive, the slope of the perpendicular line is negative. And then we're going to flip it upside down. So instead of 1 over 2, it's going to be 2 over 1. In doing so, now I have I can write my generic equation. Y is equal to, let me restart that up higher. y is equal to negative 2x plus b. I'm going to plug in 10 for y, 7 for x. So I have 10 is equal to negative 2 times 7 plus b. 10 is equal to negative 14 plus b. Add 14. I get 24 is equal to b. So the equation of my line that is perpendicular to that line is y is equal to negative 2x plus 24. And that line is perpendicular to y is equal to 1 over 2x minus 9. Here's another graph question where it's asking you to calculate the perpendicular line this time that goes through this point and it's perpendicular to that blue line. So they gave us little points this time. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. I went up 4, but I'm going to go to the left. To the left is a negative movement, and I went to the left 1. So my slope of the blue line is equal to 4 over 1, negative 1, which is just equal to negative 4. So the slope of the line that's perpendicular to it is going to be opposite sign, so it's now going to be a positive. And for positive, if we write 4 over 1, just like we have over here, we flip that upside down, it's really 1 over 4. So now I have my slope of the line of my perpendicular. I have a point. Y is equal to 1 over 4x plus b. 3 goes in for y. 4 goes in for x. 3 is equal to 1 over 4 times 4 plus b. 3 is equal to 4 over 4 plus b. So then I have 3 is equal to 1 plus b. Subtract 1, b is equal to 2. So the equation of my line is y is equal to 1 over 4x plus 2. So this question might confuse you or look very strange. And it's asking you to, it's giving you three lines and asking if any are parallel or any are perpendicular. So what we first have to do is figure out the slope of each of the lines. So I'm going to use blue for the blue line, green for the green line, and red for the red line. So the slope of the blue line is I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. So the slope of my blue line is I went up 3 and I'm going over 2. The slope of my red line, I'm going up 1, 2. So M of the red is up 2, but I'm going to the left 1, 2, 3. So going to the left is a negative movement. Now for the green line slope, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went up 5, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Let me double check my numbers. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And over 1, 2, 3. Okay. So are any of these parallel? So the ones that are parallel, there is none that's parallel. Because the slope for M is 5 over 3. And there's nothing that's equal to that. But what is there is M of the blue line is perpendicular to the red line, because the slope of 3 over 2 is perpendicular to negative 2 over 3. So the blue, blue is perpendicular to red. Here's another question that says to determine which of these lines, if any, are parallel or perpendicular. So when you're just given the equations, you need to turn them all into like a form that gives you the slope. So I'm going to turn them all into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to label this my blue line, This is going to be my red line, and this is going to be my green line. So for line A, I have 4x minus 3y is equal to 2. Subtract 4x. Subtract 4x. I get negative 3y is equal to negative 4x plus 2. Divide by both sides by negative 3. And I get y is equal to 4 over 3x plus negative 2 over 3. So the slope of the blue line is 4 over 3. Now, my red line is, they already give you the slope of the red line. So that because it's already in y-intercept form, my slope of my red line is 4 over 3. So now for the green line, for line C, I have to do the exact same thing as I did with the blue line. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to get 4y plus 3x is equal to 4. I'm going to subtract 3x. Get 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 4. Divide by 4. I get y, right over here, y is equal to negative 3 over 4x plus 1. So the slope of my green line is negative 3 over 4. So which ones are parallel? Which ones are perpendicular? So my line A, my line B, and my line C. So line A is parallel to line B. Line A is perpendicular to line C because 4/3 is the opposite reciprocal of negative 3 over 4. And because A is parallel to B and A is perpendicular to C, we can also conclude that B is perpendicular to C. So this is the same thing. Determine which ones are parallel, perpendicular, or any of them, if any of that relationships exist. So for line A, my slope of line A is already given and it's 6. It's right here. So line B was, I need to rearrange it, 6y equals negative x. I need to divide both sides by 6. And I get y is equal to negative 1 over 6x. So the slope of line B is negative 1 over 6. Now line C, I have y plus 6x is equal to 1. I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides, and I get y is equal to negative 6x plus 1. And then, so my slope of line C is negative 6. So now, what are my relationships? The only relationship here is that, is line A is perpendicular to line B, because 6 is the negative reciprocal of 6 is negative 1 over 6. So these are perpendicular to one another. That is the only relationship that exists here. So this question might seem daunting, and it's just another determine which of the lines, if any, are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Because you're like, oh my god, I got to write the equation of the lines, and I got to write the equations of all these lines. All you got to do here is find the slope. Remember, slope, when you're calculating, is m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So if we're going to do the slope of line A, I'm going to get the slope of line A is m is equal to 3 minus 1 over 0 minus negative 2, which is 2 over positive 2, which is 1. So the slope of line A is equal to 1. Then for my line B, I have m is equal to 4 minus 1 over 6 minus 4, which is equal to 3 over 2. So the slope of line B is 3 over 2. And then the slope of line C is equal to 1 minus 3 over 4 minus 1, which is negative 2 over 3. So my slope of line C is negative 2 over 3. So what is the relationship? Well, line A doesn't have anything in common with line B or C, but line B is perpendicular to line C because 3 over 2 is perpendicular to negative 2 over 3. It's the opposite reciprocal. So that's the relationship that exists. Remember, if you have any questions, to let me know. Your test is Wednesday, 1:13. And remember, I will only accept Unit 5 work with mastery no later than the test date. So no later than 1:13. If you don't turn it in with mastery by then, you will not get credit for the Unit 5 work. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you guys later. Just kidding. There was one other question left on the review. Okay, so describe and correct the error in writing an equation of the line that passes through 1, 3 and is parallel to the line y equals 1/4 x plus 2. So these questions you have to describe the error. So this person used point slope form, which is totally fine to use. But what did they do? So they determined it's parallel. So the slope of the parallel line, remember? So the slope of parallel lines are equal. Well, the slope of this line is equal to 1 over 4. So the slope that they plugged in here, they did the opposite reciprocal. So what they did is they wrote the slope for the perpendicular line, not the parallel. Okay, to correct the mistake, I set up my generic equation with the correct slope, and then I substituted my points in, 3 for y and 1 for x, and then I solved it. And now this is as a fraction, but I created a common denominator, and so my b equals, when I solved all that, 11 over 4. So my equation of my line is y equals 1/4 x plus 11 over 4. Okay, now we're done with the review.